Hi, how are you? I am back with the story La Llorona, the crying woman. As I promised, I did this in Spanish. Now I'm going to do the English version for those of you that enjoy English or only know English. I am going to tell you the story of the crying woman since we're getting close to Halloween, Day of the Dead, and spooky stories. This is one of those stories that might be a little bit spooky, but not terribly. So I hope you will enjoy it. I'm going to read it just like I did in Spanish with all my props, which are things that go with the story that I have collected throughout. I hope you enjoy it. This is The Crying Woman by Rodolfo Anaya, illustrated by Amy Cordova. This book has beautiful, beautiful illustrations, very colorful, as you will see as we move along. So, The Crying Woman by Rodolfo Anaya. So, here is the first illustration I will show you, and I will start the story. Long ago, in ancient Mexico, a village celebrated the festival of the sun. On that same day, a baby girl was born. Her parents named her Maya. When the chief priest blessed the baby, he noticed a birthmark on her shoulder. "It is a shining sun," he said. "Maya is a child of the sun. She will never die." So I don't know if you could see, but here on her shoulders, the illustrator has um, put on a little sun, kind of like a tattoo on her arm, but it's not a tattoo. She was just born with it because she is born with a special gift. So here are the other illustrations, as you can see. This is going to be the protagonist or the bad guy. It's Señor Tiempo or Father Time. And here are the parents and the priest and Maya. Maya lived a happy life and grew into a lovely young woman, adored by everyone. She helped her parents with their work in the fields and learned the ways of the village. The gods who lived on top of the volcano also loved Maya, but Señor Tiempo did not like Maya. He knew Maya was destined to be immortal. That means that she would live forever. "I am the father of time," he shouted. "This girl will never perish. If she has children, they will live forever also. I cannot allow that," Señor Tiempo said. He was not happy with that. He wanted to control when people would die because he was Father Time. So here is the chief priest with Maya's parents warning them about Señor Tiempo. The chief priest heard Señor Tiempo's threat. He ran to tell Maya's parents that she was in danger. "Señor Tiempo is angry with your daughter," he warned them. "Why?" Maya's mother asked. "Señor Tiempo wants everyone to age and die, but Maya was born with the sign of the sun god. This means she will never die." "Then he cannot harm her," Maya's father said. "True," the chief priest answered, "but when Maya has children, Señor Tiempo will take them, and you must hide her." Maya's parents feared for their daughter, so they took her up to the volcano into the jungle. There at the edge of the lake, Maya would live alone, away from angry Señor Tiempo. In the morning, Maya tended her vegetable garden. In the afternoon, she gathered the bright feathers that fell from the wings of parrots. She wove the feathers into beautiful baskets and dresses. So Maya made these beautiful baskets like she used for her vegetables, as you can see. And she wove pretty colorful feathers, all kinds of feathers into them from the birds, feathers that fell from the birds. I don't know if you can see this pretty colorful feather. And then there's the white ones and all the different kinds of feathers. So she wove them into the baskets. She seems to be enjoying herself as she works her garden and weaves her baskets. She's a beautiful Princess Maya type of young woman. As time passed, though, Maya grew lonely. I wish someone would come to visit me, she said to her friend, Senor Owl. Senor Owl, it is time for you to have niños, Senor Owl replied. This made Maya happy. Children would be wonderful companions. She would care for them and teach them to grow vegetables and weave baskets. What must I do? She asked. And Senor Owl with his wise words and sounds of the wilderness, told her that it was time to have niños, to have babies. So Maya asked her what she needed to do. And he said, make a clay pot, Senor Owl said. He wanted her to make pots out of clay, which are these kind of pots that are truly made from clay. Barro is what we call them in Spanish. She said to make clay pots from the dirt from the edge of the lake, and to take them and fill them with fertile soil. So she wanted her to take her barro bowls that she would make and fill them with soil rich from the lake that are fertile. That means that they would grow and they would grow good seed. You will be given seeds to plant in the pot, he told her. The owl was very wise, and Maya listened. Maya did as she was told. She dug red clay and made a beautiful pot. Then it was large and round, and Maya painted beautiful colored birds and flowers on it, just like this. That night, the full moon shone as bright as the sun, and Maya took the clay pot to the lake and filled it with earth from the lake. Just then a young man came walking by. That's a beautiful pot, he said. What are you going to plant? Senor Owl told me this is the way to make a baby, Maya answered. I too spoke with Senor Owl, the young man said. She told me to put corn in the pot. This way you will grow a lovely child. He sat beside Maya, took kernels of corn. So she took kernels of the corn, which are what is inside the corn, these little kernels that we eat. He took the seeds from them and he planted them on the fertile soil. So he took the seeds from his leather pouch and planted the corn in the pot, and then they added water from the lake. They added a little bit of water from the lake so it would grow. Maya thanked the young man and returned home. She placed the bowl on the window ledge. Each night the moon shone on it, and the sun warmed it by day. Many months later, Maya heard a whimper. Curled up in the bowl lay a baby girl. Mi niña, Maya cried. She took the baby and wrapped her in feathered blankets. You are as beautiful as the tassels of a corn plant, Maya whispered. I will name you Corn Maiden. So she thought she was as beautiful as the corn with the beautiful tassels. So she called her Corn Maiden. The animals of the jungle came to admire the infant. All were happy except the cautious Senor Snake. Beware of Senor Tiempo, he said. He will come to claim your child. What can I do? Maya asked. Sorry, that turned out for a little bit. So what can I do? Maya asked. Senor Owl gave her advice. Save Corn Maiden's bowl by the fireplace. As long as you keep it safe, Senor Tiempo cannot harm her. Maya did as she was told. Here's the other illustrations. Maya made another pot, then filled when the moon was full, so she made a different pot. She made many pots, this second pot. And then she took it to the lake and filled it with the earth again. She put soil on it again, and then the young man came to help. I grow chili plants in the valley, he said. He sat by Maya, put a chili seed from the chile. He put a chili seed in the pot. And Maya thanked him and took the pot home. Months later, she heard a cry. She looked and found a baby boy snuggled in the bowl. Mi niño, you are strong as a jaguar, Maya said. I will call you Jaguar Boy. So he was as strong as a jaguar and as fierce as one he would grow. This is how the jaguars sound. So that was the name of her second child that was born from the chili plants. Maya's family grew as the young man came with seeds of beans, squash, papayas, lemons, mangoes, oranges. All of these seeds were planted, so Maya had many beautiful children. And so Maya was no longer lonely. During the day, she taught her children to grow vegetables and weave baskets. At night, she told them stories and sang songs. She made a promise. As long as I keep your pot safe, you will stay with me forever. But here is Senor Tiempo. He looked everywhere for Maya. One night, he hid outside the house of Maya's parents. He heard Maya's mother say, "Our daughter is safe in her home by the lake." "Yes," Maya's father agreed. "Now she has her children to keep her company." "Children!" Senor Tiempo shouted. "I must make sure they are not immortal like Maya." He put on a mask, pretending to be a wise old teacher. He appeared at Maya's garden where she and her youngsters were gathering corn, beans, and squash. So he's going to be pretend a nice teacher to trick Maya. Senor Tiempo looked at the happy and handsome boys and girls. Their skin glowed, their dark eyes sparkled, and their long black hair glistened in the sun. "Where did you get such beautiful children?" Senor Tiempo asked Maya. "Senor Owl told me to make pots of clay," Maya answered. A young man brought seeds and put them in the pots. The sun and the moon blessed the pots, and so my niños were born. Senor whispered to himself, I have to find a way to steal Maya's children and then make them my own. I will not let them live forever." "But your children will grow and leave," he said. "They will age and die," he told Maya. owl was trying so hard to warn Maya not to listen to this deceitful Señor Tiempo that was behind the mask of a nice teacher when he was really evil. No, Maya answered. Señor Owl told me if I keep the pot safe, my children will be immortal. So what's her secret? Señor Tiempo murmured to himself. Now I know how to trick her. They are safe with me, Maya insisted. But a thief might come and steal them, he said in a sweet voice. I know how you can keep your children with you forever. I don't want to lose them, Maya cried. Tell me what I must do. Do you think Maya's going to fall for it? Is she going to be tricked by Señor Tiempo? Oh my goodness, look what she's doing. Can you predict what she's doing and what might happen? You must break the pots into pieces and throw them into the lake. This way your children will have everlasting life, Señor Tiempo told Maya. Maya believed Señor Tiempo. He believed him because she thought he was a wise, nice teacher. So she broke the pots, took the pieces to the lake, and threw them into the water. Suddenly, a terrible storm came over the lake. Lightning flashed and thunder shook the earth. All the animals ran to hide. So there was thunder and lightning. And then there was rain that came pouring down all over the village, all over Maya's house. And all the birds and animals ran as the water poured down because the storm came when the pots were broken and her children were going to disappear forever. Señor Tiempo grabbed the children during the storm. Come with me, he shouted. He led the crying children to the deep lake and tossed them in the water. My children, Maya exclaimed. Where are my niños? Too late, Señor Tiempo answered. Now they're mine. Maya knew Señor Tiempo had lied to her. She was broken-hearted. All her beautiful children were gone. What can I do? She wondered. Maybe if I gather the pieces, I can take the pots and make them new. Then my children will return. She hurried into the lake and reached for the broken pieces. But it was too late. The water had dissolved the clay. Maya realized she would never see her children again. She ran along the edge of the lake crying, Mis niños, ay, mis niños, mis hijos, she would cry. She murmured her cry and it echoed across the lake. She wept and pulled her tangled hair. Tree branches tore her dress of bright feathers. So she became the mournful, cryful Llorona, the crying woman. Maya's parents and the villagers heard Maya's cry, but there was nothing they could do. They were afraid of the crying woman. Fearful mothers called their children indoors. Be good, mothers whispered, or the crying woman will take you. She will think you belong to her. She will carry you away. The children shivered and obeyed, and they never go out to play by the deep and dangerous lake, or the river, or the ocean, or the canals. How sad the moon is. Something terrible has happened. Poor Maya is no longer colorful and beautiful. She is in mourning, crying forever for her children. As she became the Llorona, the crying woman, since she is immortal, she must search for her children forever. Today, her fearful cry is still heard at night. She appears along the banks of rivers and lakes. Have you heard the cry of La Llorona? If you have, you know she is warning you to stay away from dangerous places. Because if you stay out, she may take you thinking that you are one of her children. The end. So this is La Llorona, the crying woman. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope you are able to listen to it either in English or in Spanish or both. And my goal is for you to love stories, to love books, to begin to ask for books as presents and read them to help you become a better reader, a better student, so you can learn about your culture, your traditions, and maybe read about places you would love to visit on a dream vacation, so you can dream and work towards that as you work, as you become a good student, study, graduate, and earn good money so that you can have enough money to travel. Just like I did. Before, I didn't have any books. Now I have books. As you can see, my house is full of books, upstairs and downstairs. And those are the books that I read and I dreamt about, going to castles and across the ocean to different countries. And now, because I learned to read and I studied hard, I became a teacher and earned better money, and I was able to have a little extra so that I could travel. So I can tell you that I've crossed the ocean. I've been in castles in Europe, and I've gone to many beautiful places that I dreamt about, but first of all, that I read about in books, because that's how I set my dreams and my goals, to go to those beautiful places. So if you can't afford to go traveling right now because you're not old enough, or you don't have the money, or your parents don't have the money right now, dream through books and read about them so you can begin to make plans as you grow and you study and you work hard to finish school and get a good job, so that you can not only have enough for just the bills, but have enough to do some traveling, just like I did. So I hope you enjoyed La Llorona, and I hope you enjoyed my props. This is Maya, Mayan princess that I have. And these are all props that I brought from Mexico as I traveled around in Mexico, which is beautiful. So I've had that privilege, and I was lucky enough to be able to travel now, as I tell you, because of school, because I was able to afford it, because I earned a little more. So there you are. I hope you enjoyed La Llorona. It's my first book. I hope to do more, and I will do my best to do them in English and Spanish for you. I'm going to try to find a time that is best for you as a student. Maybe on the weekends, I'll probably get some feedback from you and your parents, so that maybe I'll do some of these live, so that you can enjoy more stories. And hopefully, if you can't get to listen to me while I'm doing it, I'll upload them and you can read them or listen to them on your own time when you go to YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. I'm not sure how it's going to work. But anyway, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. La Llorona, if you can afford to buy this book, I recommend it. It's a beautiful book, as you saw. Beautiful illustrations by Rodolfo Anaya, one of my author friends that I met in New Mexico that encouraged me to write. So I too am writing stories that I hope you will also read in the future, in the near future. Okay, I will see you. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your weekend, whenever you see this. Take care and enjoy books. Goodbye.